What if I told you about the greatest economist in ancient history? Started as a slave. He didn't study finance. He studied pain. His name was Joseph, and the system he built saved millions during a global famine. In today's economy, you're either preparing or perishing, and Joseph's story might be the survival guide we forgot. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob, but the first son of Rachel, and Jacob's favorite. His coat of many colors wasn't just fashion, it was a symbol: leadership, favor, inheritance. At 17, Joseph began to dream. Not dreams for himself, but visions from God. But his brothers didn't see vision. They saw arrogance. Envy poisoned their hearts. One day, while alone in the fields, they stripped Joseph of his robe and threw him into a pit. Soon after, they sold him to Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. His dream wasn't dead, just planted. Joseph was taken to Egypt, a world of gods, gold, and hierarchy. But he had one thing they couldn't buy: favor. Even as a servant in Potiphar's house, Joseph rose. Why? He brought order, excellence. God's hand was with him. Soon, he was framed and thrown into prison again. But instead of bitterness, Joseph used what he had left, his gift to interpret dreams. He didn't ask for freedom, he gave insight. And when Pharaoh's cupbearer had a dream, Joseph decoded it with divine precision. One night, Pharaoh couldn't sleep. Two dreams haunted him: skinny cows devouring fat ones, and scorched grain consuming healthy stalks. No sorcerer or priest could explain them. That's when the cupbearer remembered: there's a man in prison who interprets dreams. Joseph didn't just explain the dream, he gave a plan. 7 years of plenty will come. Store 20% of the harvest during these years. Then 7 years of famine will strike. But Egypt will survive by what you store. Pharaoh didn't hesitate. He made Joseph second in command over the entire kingdom. Overnight, Joseph went from inmate to investor, from prisoner to prime minister. Joseph invented resource allocation, long-term planning, and crisis reserves 4,000 years before Wall Street. During the 7 good years, Egypt stored more grain than they could count, like sand of the sea. But when the famine hit, other nations crumbled. Egypt, however, became the global supplier. People traded their silver, livestock, even land to buy food, and Pharaoh's wealth multiplied beyond imagination. Here is a modern-day lesson before we continue. During recessions, wealth doesn't disappear, it transfers. Just like in Joseph's time, prepared people become the lenders, and the unprepared become the borrowers. Back in Canaan, Jacob's household was starving. He sent 10 of his sons to Egypt to buy grain, but when they arrived, they didn't recognize the Egyptian ruler standing before them. Their brother, Joseph, he recognized them, and he remembered everything. Joseph didn't reveal himself immediately. He tested them, not for revenge, but for repentance. He accused them of being spies, demanded Benjamin be brought, and secretly planted silver in their sacks. Why? He wanted to know, were they still the same men who sold him out? When Judah offered to become a slave in Benjamin's place, Joseph couldn't hold back. He wept so loudly the palace heard him. Then he said, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" The brothers froze, but Joseph didn't punish them. Instead, he said,
"What you meant for evil, God meant for good."
Joseph invited his entire family to live in Egypt. Pharaoh offered the best land, Goshen, and blessed Joseph's family for what Joseph had done. The wealth of Egypt wasn't just in food now, it was in relationships, reunion, and resilience. Joseph didn't build wealth only for himself. He created a system, one that outlived the famine, fed the world, and elevated his entire bloodline. His children would later be blessed by Jacob, and his story would echo through generations as a man who turned pain into prosperity. The world remembers kings for what they built, But Joseph was remembered for what he saved. He built trust. He stored wisely. He forgave freely. He invested in people, not just grain. And he showed us that favor isn't a feeling. It's strategy plus surrender. Modern application. Save in the years of plenty. Build during your lowest point. Turn your gift into a gateway. Always invest in relationships.